Yeah, got it before you had to tell me. Good afternoon, Nubby. And that which lurks. Oh, 17. Yeah. Not bad. I actually have not logged on to check my email since like Friday morning-ish, so I probably should be doing that. But good afternoon, everybody, for a Monday edition. I'm trying to think if there's anything dangerous that will happen if I go and start reading off some of the Release 68 post notes for stuff. Let's see. I can't think of that much. I don't want to do anything too exciting, though, until I've been on for a good 10 minutes or so. So let me go. I owe somebody a thing. Hold on. Oh, you know what? I don't think I've sent out those prizes yet. Let me see if that is... Yes, that is what that was. Okay, I got to send out some prizes. That's what I'm going to do while I wait here. Oh, and speaking of prizes, let me get the next ones rounded up. That is not the button I want. Here's the button I want. Fleshier Tapestry Formal. Am I saying that right? Fleshier? Or is it fleshier? It kind of sounds like fleshy or Fletchier. Tapestry Formal Suit Patterns Pack. What's tempting? We got a greenhouse. Chairs. These things are all the ones on sale. Oh, dead tree. Let's go with the rusted small greenhouse. Let me get that live. Howdy, Fenris McWrath. Oh, that reminds me. Hold on. I've got a friend who's also in indie game stuff. I just saw a post on his page. He actually used to work for Portalarium briefly. But I worked with him at another company for a while, but he got the much feared Radian. The best way is to ask. But anyway, so my friend he's in game devs, but he worked with us for a while, but hired him at a previous company, hired him straight out of SMU Guildhall. Great guy. It's funny because when he left, we used his computer as a build machine. So whenever the build machine would have problems, we'd be talking about this guy's name. So-and-so's having problems. He's acting up again, giving us trouble. So it felt like he was still with the studio for like a year, 2 years, 3 years afterwards. But I think that machine may be upstairs in my storage closet. Going on vacation like in a week and a half. A little over a week and a half, 10 days, something like that. For those who are curious, Mojito will be fine. We have someone who comes and house sits for us. So they just come down and take care of things, so. Oh, I haven't got the raffle yet. Hold on, let me get that going and then I'll get back to storytelling. Raffle giveaway. Rusted iron small greenhouse. And I'm trying to give those, whoops, let me reset first. Yes, now it's open. Try and get Sanyo and List hooked up so they can do giveaways like this because they have everything they need, they just don't know it. So, oh, and thank you Sinesh Kazgal for the resub, and thank you House of Mangar for the raid. Thank you. But anyway, so yeah, so my friend works at an indie studio. They actually all work from home. And basically have the exact same setup we do. He didn't know that I was doing that though. So, but they're looking to get into Twitch so they can start streaming their game on Twitch. So I'm trying to give him advice on stuff. But I'm gonna go link him my Twitch stream so he can see how easy it is, how not awesome we are at doing it. Do. Hold on, wait for it. Do. Oh, Legion of Myth, thank you for the raid. Let's see, I think I owe Elgarion some crowns too. That's another thing I can do there. Whoop. All right. So anyways, back over to this stuff. But anyways, I just messaged him so he can come check things out. So if you get in there, William, old friend, if you end up on the stream, hopefully he'll say or speak up. But yeah, so I got that done. Oh. I'm sure all of you were on the last stream, on the Friday stream. But that was, just want to make sure people knew that that EULA thing is not intentional, and the EULA did not change. We're not changing the EULA on a daily basis, as it might appear. It is just a side effect that I think I just saw a message from Taz saying he worked out the kinks in it, that we had to change. We changed our cert, our security cert, and it was causing some wacky problems. Trying to go to one that's a multi-year cert. Planning for the future. But anyway, so that's what's causing that, in case you guys are wondering. Yes, it is annoying. No, we aren't changing it. We know better than that. People keep records of all that stuff and will call us out on crap like that, so we're not changing it. There will be some big changes coming in the future, but I don't know if it'll change that or not. With your certs, breath mints. Ah, certs. Oh, yeah. Certification, security, certification. That thing you need for the SSL stuff and other stuff. Dang it, Tazar. Tazar, I will try and see what's on there. Again, we did all the ones that, except for like 22. But yeah, yours should have gone out, and we should have had the correct address for you now. So I will look into that. I'm actually gonna ship some this week. We were stupid and did not build extras, so I'm gonna build some extras this week. So assuming I don't have anything critical going on, probably on Wednesday, I'm gonna just build boxes and ship boxes all day Wednesday and try to get out another, I don't know, 50 or 100 or so. And maybe I'll stream that. Maybe I'll just stream it up and you guys can yell at me on the stream. I said I was going to do it last time, but I chickened out. Maybe it'll be a little easier this time. I'll just go back and forth between streaming and packing. Let's see. So I did just make the change earlier today for the attenuation. Going to 2 million. So for those who didn't know, there's something called attenuation in the game. The history of it again, and again, I'm sure most of you have heard this already, but the history is that there were some areas that were designed poorly. There's some skills that are way OP for loot generation. What is going on with you, Light? Oh, it's probably Nubby Earwiggles messing with me. Yeah, that's Nubby. See, I think that's a bug when stuff like that happens. But anyway, so there's this thing called attenuation. If you get too many experience per hour, it'll start capping off your experience. But that is really just a side effect of, we had some really poorly designed scenes. We had some really OP skills in terms of how they're used in some places. Just didn't have the balance down, which, not making any excuses, that sucks for you guys. But finally trying to get some fixes in for that, and realizing one of the only ways we can make sure we're fixing it is if we really understand where the big problems are. So for this release, that the attenuation number has been turned up to 2 million. Somebody is talking to Universe and saying what I'm saying here. I don't think it is at 2 million right now. It'll be at 2 million for starting at the release. So that guy just gave bad information. Bad, Yenu. Shame. But anyway, so yes, so attenuation will be at 2 million for this next release while we try to identify some stuff. I will tell you a couple things that went in. I will never have to worry about fire again in my life. A couple things that did go in were... Yes, somebody correct him, good. That are somewhat related to that is... So one, the way the skill stuff works, the focus cost is based on... It has like a kind of a base cost, and then it has a multiplier, and the multiplier is based on your skill level. And not all of them use that, but many of the powerful spells do. So like Fireball uses it. Pretty much all the not tier 1 type stuff uses it. Some of the combat stuff uses it. But anyways, but it's a multiplier that's based on the skill level that you have in it. So the higher your skill level goes, the more powerful it is, and the more focus it costs to use it. Now this is one of those things you guys probably don't even notice, because it, when your skills are leveling up, you're leveling up too, and you got more focus going on. And at higher level with good foods, it's kind of tough to run out of focus anyways. But the math for that has always been, here's some math, you ready for soda math? Your skill level, it's the whatever the base focus is for the thing, times your skill level divided by 40. Now that what that was shooting for was making it so if you had a 40 skill, then that was kind of like the base for what the cost was. If you went up to an 80 skill, then it would cost twice as much. If you went up to 120 skill, it would cost 3 times as much. Mojito's having a drink. Oh yeah, let me see if I can turn on Mojito. Alright, he's under there somewhere. But, so the new formula for that, and this actually, it was written in such a way, it was basically the power, that number I just gave you, comma, some other constant, and that constant had always been 1. So basically it was just skill level divided by 40 was the multiplier. So as we continue to see that really people are rarely having to think about focus with how the numbers turned out, so that for this release is turned up to 1.1 for the multiplier. Now do not freak out. What that basically means is if you have a 80 skill, it'll cost you, things will cost about 7% more focus if they use that multiplier. If you have a 100 skill, it'll be about 9% more. And if you have a 120 skill, it'll be like 11% more. And that's more than it was last release. So do not panic. Yes, and trying to, again, that's one of those things as I watch how people play and see what they're doing. Very few people have to think about focus. The other two things that were adjusted were, as I continue to look at how to keep things high. Yes, except when the zombies hit you, yes. The keeping things appropriate. And this is all part of the trying to get attunement to a level. And again, this is, I know people will be getting out the ropes and pitchforks and whatnot. But currently the only two I just changed were Meteor Shower and Ring of Fire. Those are the two that account for the biggest chunk of high stuff. SnugZ, I am buffing Taming. But so those two are getting an extra adjustment, which is looking at those. The cast time, or the duration of them, is long, not surprising. Very long compared to the cooldown timer. So the cooldown timer is pretty pointless. So that's one of those things too, is you're supposed to be managing that well. Because as many people know, if you're using locked at least, you get heat buildup on skills if you use the same skill over and over again. You can see the little heat buildup thing down there where the little thing fills up. So what many people don't realize is that actually increases the focus. You can see the focus cost is like 72 right now. As the heat goes away, you'll see it drop. Yeah, down to 50 focus. So that's one of those things, because it has such a long duration compared to the use time, you never even have to think about it. So this is one of the things that's supposed to help control the focus for spammy casters. But it really hasn't been that big of a factor. Again, nothing has really been a factor just with the focus cost on things. But anyway, so those have had their cooldowns increased. And not that much. I think one went up about 20%, one went up about 50%. I think for the most part, people never really notice cooldowns on those two things. I do. Again, these are all the gentle ways I'm trying to nudge these things back into being somewhat balanced for massive farming. And so anyway, so that's kind of the thought is, again, gently nudging all super high level skills just with a little bit of focus use. Again, we're talking like 9% more focus. And don't nerf Seabear. He gives me bits. He gives me lots of bits. We like Seabear. But anyway, so just trying to nudge those guys. And those are, I think it's not a secret that most people know, those are kind of the two biggest ones. Archery will probably be getting a few adjustments, but they'll be in that category of adjustment where not weakening them directly, but making them a little harder to cast is kind of the target for things. Again, I don't think anyone disagrees that there's some skills that are overpowered. It's just how do we balance those skills without completely destroying character builds and tearing everything up. So anyways, that's kind of where it's going. Thank you very much, Iron Fist Warhammer. And as I just got bits and was reminded, that's one of the things, again, I'm sure all of you guys were on the Friday stream, but Avatars Radio is not going away. You guys probably all heard that. I'm babysitting. I'm not saying taking over because I'm not doing anything. The only thing I'm going to be doing is occasionally there's a button you have to click because the stream will lock up or have problems or whatever, which, by the way, happened yesterday or last night. And I had to click the button and be the hero. And everybody was like, "Yeah, you saved us." To which, of course, I was just like, it's like a button on a page I have bookmarked, so pretty easy. But that's about the extent of what I plan on doing for Avatars Radio. Those guys run it themselves. Amber Rain has it set up so it pays for itself, so we don't even have to give anything to it. We're not supporting it financially. I think Star might have said we were supporting it financially. We're not going to be supporting it financially in any way other than I'm going to start giving 10% of the bits that I give each month. 10% of the money I make on Twitch, I'm going to start giving that to people to help support the radio, so I can start putting some money back in. So if you want to help those guys, now I'm trying to remember, did I open my doors? Did Nubby open them? Did they remember they were open? Aloha, Lancel. Do I owe you something, Lancel? I'm trying to remember. This weekend was a blur, and the next week and a half is going to be a blur. Release and tons of other stuff. Very exciting stuff. Super exciting. Can't talk about it. Super exciting. That's all I'm going to say. But let's see. I kind of felt like I owed you something. Maybe not. Lancel, and yeah, to everybody out there, you absolutely can stream QA. I mean, our QA is completely open, so we don't really care. I mean, it'll say QA on the screen, so that's good enough for us to let people know. If you want to tell people you're testing on QA, and again, thanks for reminding me about the QA stuff. We're scared, and when I say we, I mean me and Star. The permissions changes that are going in this release are pretty huge. And we're kind of almost expecting a major poop storm, a cluster duck, whatever you want to call it. But we're expecting it to be scary. So lock all your stuff up. And so give us feedback on that stuff. So I'll be honest, I have not paid that much attention to what Lord Subtleton has been doing, other than I gave some goals for here's what we want to achieve. Everybody agreed on them. And he's basically had to go and tear down. There are already a lot of problems with it, with these like tenant properties and other properties where those things were colliding, because it pretty much was added piecemeal without a full like reevaluation of, now that we know what we're making, let's go back and look at it. So he tried to go back and like take the whole like high level, we know what we're making now, we know what things, tools we have, let's go back and fix these things and get them right. Cypher One Black, that is actually good feedback. And looks like pretty much the same thing Eric rules. Let me go ahead and mention that to him. We were talking about doing that. Let me go ahead and call him out like that. But yeah, and for those who don't know, there's kind of a couple different goals we have for this. There's a lot of stuff. One, this is just, we've been for the longest time saying, well, we can't do X, Y, or Z because of, we can't guarantee the safety of items. We can't, it's the usual. We can't have nice things because players will do bad things. We get constant CS tickets for people who are like, somebody took my insert item X, Y, or Z here. And it's somebody who had access to their lot, and they just took stuff. So what we're doing is basically going back. And there's a couple problems we want to solve too. Is we want to be able to give you, like on these streams, I could give out more goodies to you guys if the goodies were no trade. So that's kind of one of the things we want to do is, but of course I can't do that for most of the stuff, because most of what I want to give out on the stream is decos and stuff like that. But I'd love to be able to give out more stuff. But, as long as they're tradable, then all it becomes is people fearing. And of course, I think some of this is a largely exaggerated fear, but people fear that there's people who make up lots of accounts on Twitch and just to come and try and get more prizes so that they can take the prizes and sell them for real money or whatever, or sell them for gold in game. So that's kind of one of the things is I'd love to be able to give out trophies that were no trade. I'd love to be able to give out all these other things that are no trade, more prizes that are no trade, but that's obviously you can't do that with Deco with how the system was. And that's one of those things we've wanted for a long time, because it's not just like me giving out prizes. It's like, hey, we've got quest items. Quest item has to be no trade, or else you can just like, hey, here's my new business. I'm going and doing the quest for everybody, and I'll sell you the final quest piece, like that type of stuff. We want to make sure you earn the rewards. But anyway, so you couldn't use Deco's quest items as decos because they're no trade. So anyway, so we're fixing that. So you'll be able to place no trade items. The other thing we want to be able to do is have a way that players could set items so that they could be moved, but they could not be taken. So basically what we're doing is we're unifying the ownership so that if there's an item you place on a lot, you're not giving your consent of, here, you can take this. Anybody who has permissions on a lot can immediately screw me. You actually will own things. And this is step one in that system. Because the other big part that has to happen is there's another big chunk that's coming that's going to be the item finder and some other stuff that's related to that. And that's going to be where you can go and see, like, here's all the items that I own in the game and where they are, and basically use that as a finder system. But again, there's a lot of edge cases is what we usually call them in programming terms. It's like, edge case being you write the code that handles, here's the 95% or 99% of the cases, and then these edge cases make up those 1% others that are the rare cases. So for ours, some of the stuff is we're having to deal with, and why we have to have some things like object finders in those is like you can get banned from a pot. You could have stuff on a pot, on a lot in a pot, get banned from the pot, and not be able to get back to your stuff. It's that type of thing. Lord Subtleton says on the change that nothing, if your items could be stolen before, they can be stolen now. So it's basically staying the same. We're just giving you more permissions above that. So we're not making everything. So things won't be any more stealable now, according to him. If you guys disagree with that, let me know. But I think it's kind of, we're giving you ways that you can keep things from being stolen now. But the default way is supposed to be about the same. We'll see if you guys disagree with that based on what you've seen. Again, I'm kind of on the outside looking in on that stuff and just setting goals and, here's what we want to be able to do with it. But anyways, so there's a lot of edge cases. I just mentioned you have a item on a lot in a pot that you're banned from. There's also you got your items on a lot and you pick up the lot, you pick up whole house and put it into storage for you. There's all these little weird edge case things that we're having to deal with. So that's what a lot of his nightmares going on. Star and I are having other nightmares just because when we change things, players panic, get angry with us. Do not change things. But sometimes things are bad enough that we need to change them. This is one of them that we need to change it just so we can do some cool stuff. Like, as I mentioned, it's not just for chess boards or whatever. Public chess boards, there's lots and lots of gameplay that can come out of that stuff. Hold on. Hold on, I'm getting messages. Reminder to those who don't know, I'm actually at work. I know it looks like my house, but I'm at work. But I just got getting some pings on some work stuff. But, alright, I'll have to look into that. Again, this is also for those who are wondering why it seems like my head is about to explode. This is a release week. Oh, and also thank you very much, That Which Lurks and Lancel Lancermain. Thank you guys. But this is a release week. We have a release in 3 days. We still have some big stuff to go in. I did just check in the Rise Dog Room encounter version and the Rise Library encounter version. So those should be on QA in the next build, I believe, which may be the last build before live. So we'll see how that goes. You can convert to them. There's recipes so you can convert the non-encounter rooms, and then they're going to start dropping as well. Rinaldi the Green Guy. I will find out what is going on with that. Because, again, that's one that it's been fixed like 10 times, and I don't know what's happened to it as to why it hasn't. That comes up pretty much every stream as an annoyance, and it annoys me too. I actually was on a stream last week or week before last and did that very thing. And thank you for the 100 bits, Rinaldi. Oh, and I've got some probably some questions pouring in here. Let me see what we got in terms of questions. Eric Rules, what are the heavy armor spec changes going in? There's some confusion. So I thought most of the heavy armor spec stuff went in last release. Oh no, that's right. There's one more change that went in this release. So this is one I can talk about again, some more Soto math. So there's something called damage absorption. That is the... Oh. Thank you very much, That Which Lurks. I can go look for the Destroyer skin. Let me go over the damage absorption change. So there's damage absorption. This is, there's two values basically that determine your armor. There's some other stuff too in terms of like getting glancing blows and stuff. But in terms of stopping damage, like you get hit for 38 points of damage. In terms of stopping damage, there's two things. There's your damage resistance, and then there's damage absorption. So damage resistance is the maximum number of total points that can be stopped by your armor. So if you have 20 points of damage resistance, you get for 38, you're going to stop depending on your damage absorption, but you'll probably stop 20 points of damage off that and take 18. Now, damage absorption is a 0 to 1 number that is basically the percentage cap, like percentage of how much of that hit you can stop. So if that is at 50, you get hit for 38 points of damage. That means you could stop a maximum of 19. So it's the lower of those two values, either your damage resistance or the absorption times the damage you took. Again, this is, if I had a whiteboard, it'd be a lot easier. But so that's kind of the target there. So the damage resistance is the max you can take. Damage absorption is the max percentage you can stop, and the max percentage you can stop. And it takes the lower of those two values. So the damage absorption has been capped at 0.8 for a while. The change that's going in for this release, again, all the releases blur together for me, but I believe the change that's in for this release and should be on QA right now is that damage absorption cap can go higher than 0.8 for heavy armor spec guys, which is something I need to add to the release notes before Star yells at me. So, sorry, checking messages again. So what that'll mean is, like you can still like tank like 5 things or whatever, and your armor will suck up most damage. But before, you'd always take at least 20% of the damage. Now, if you have an 80 armor spec, you could take as little as 10% of the damage. It's basically that 0.2 that's left over from the 0.8 is the cap. So 0.2 is what you're going to take, the 20%. It's that divided by 1 plus your armor spec. So if you have an 80, that'll give you 2. That'll make it 10%. If you have a 160, you do not have 160 specialization in heavy armor. But if you did have 160 specialization in armor, then you'd be at 1 or 0.6. 0.06% would be the max, 0.066. But anyway, so that's kind of the short version. And again, it's just, these are, as I always have been trying to do, at least for the last 10 releases or so, these are things I'm just trying to gently nudge stuff in the right direction. I know there's some people who are saying I can get like 120 points and stand and tank a dragon, whatever. Yeah, and there's going to be some people, again, that was somebody who had the best gear, spells at a really high level, and had all their buffs cast, had everything, like all their skills going. So yeah, so if you do that, you can stand and tank a dragon without having to worry about it too much. You have to keep healing. But again, that's kind of intentional, is if you're doing it all and you're doing it all right, then yeah, you should be able to stand and tank something. Now, I'm sure that was just like a normal run-of-the-mill dragon and not some extra mean dragon. So, and thank you, Invico, and nice to see your name around, bud. But anyway, so yeah, so continuing to nudge that in the direction, and that's, again, we want to, someone in heavy armor, they're going to have kind of crappy magic skills, most likely. So it's kind of, we want to make sure they do feel like they're a tank and they can stand and both hold aggro and survive after they get aggro. And yes, you can survive by, of course, running around like a chicken with your head cut off. But that's not very manly to do that. Let's see. Yeah, test out on QA. Now, again, this would only matter if you had a really high damage absorption where you were over the cap. So this doesn't magically give you that extra 10% or whatever. You really have to work at to get your absorption that high. I know it's possible, though, because players for a while were doing it, and they could basically just stand and take 0 damage from stuff attacking them and laugh at us. SnugZ1, thank you, sir. I aim to be one of 7 people not wearing light armor, wielding ranged and fire. So yeah, so fire, again, range is going to get probably a little bit of a, not so much of a nerf, but making it, the cost of it better, which I guess anything that could possibly reduce how much you can do is a nerf, but trying not to make it less turn down the damage on the thing, but instead turn up the cost on things. And fire and meteor shower and archery are the three that are getting that type of kind of soft nerf. House of Mangar. So that is another one of the changes I want to make. I was tempted to make it this release, is starting to go and flag different types of damage that armor can stop, so you can actually get some damage resistance from your armor towards magic spells. Because again, this is one of those things that we've said we want to do for a long time, and it makes sense in terms if you look at it, like, hey, guess what? If you get hit by an ice bolt, your armor should stop some of that damage. If you get hit by a fireball, at least some of the damage would be stopped by your armor. So that's one of the things that will be coming up. And again, yeah, right now the tanks out there are the whipping boys. We all kind of know that with the archers and mages to some extent laughing at them. Yeah, you will get some, and that I don't think I can sneak it in for this release, but I will put it as top priority on my next release, because that's kind of the bigger, there's some of these things that there's some peaks in terms of the power of some of these things, as some of the stuff I've been calling out here, like fire, ring of fire, and meteor shower in terms of overall long-term DPS tied to how much effort it is. But then there's kind of the bigger topic of heavy armor guys trying to make sure that they feel as important as archers, that feel as important as casters, and trying to make all those balance. And then, of course, the other side of things is then you got to balance that for PvE and PvP both. You don't want to make a change that'll screw up PvE. So it's really, what's the 3-dimensional chest or 4-dimensional chest or whatever? I guess technically chess is already in 3 dimensions because it 2 dimensions in time. But anyways, 4D chess. Isn't that the bad Star Trek reference? So yes, once you factor all those things in, try and get the exact balance on things. I've been talking far too long without giving you guys anything cool. I also need to give out some other cool stuff to people here. So I'm going to do the giveaway here in a second. While I'm waiting for that, though, I'm going to go wrap up. I've got about 4 that I need to send out for people that I promised stuff. Let's see, I owe Trevor some Elven Elite Armor. Let me see if I have these things already. Elven, nope. Nope. Alright, let's see. How about, so I got 2 Elven Elite, Archer Armor. And then Viking Guard Armor Pack. Do I have that? Nope. How about the Fire Elemental? Nope. Let's see, Elven Elite Archer. Okay, let me get that one. You guys are raffling up now, right? Right. This one goes to Trevor. If you're out there, sorry it took so long. I totally forgot. Elite. I think that's right. Trevor, congratulations. Sorry I'm late. And now for the fighter armor. This one's going to Hex. Hex, if you're out there. Sorry I'm late. And then I got Viking Guard Armor. This one goes to Stu Mosner. Or is it Stu Mosner? And then the last Definitely not the least. What? Oh man, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna have to go find this one. Serenia Melorian. You're supposed to get a fire elemental statue. Except it looks like that was probably on a vault item that went away. So I gotta go find the exact item. Hold on. Statue, fire elemental. Alright, hold on. And then, as soon as I'm done with this is the last one, by the way, I will do the drawing. I think that's the right thing. And this one is going to Serenia Melorian. They were concerned. Oh. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dog Meat, for the sub, and Rinaldi the Green Guy for the 100 bits. I should probably... Oh, Karma Bits. Oh, thanks. You can save your Karma Bits for when I'm shipping boxes, maybe on my Wednesday stream. Tomorrow, I guess I will not be shipping boxes, because tomorrow is a team meeting, which we're going to be having. And doing lunch afterwards, which usually kills my day. So don't expect to stream tomorrow. Again, that's kind of been the case recently for Tuesdays. We don't have a stream unless List or somebody stays home and skips the meeting. All right. Oh, and now we can do this prize. Now that you guys have waded through all that. Here we go. Closing the giveaway. Picking a winner. Cypher 1 Black, congratulations. Thank you, thank you. Is that Cypher Black? Going with Cypher Black. And that is a rusted greenhouse. Rusted small greenhouse. Congratulations, good sir. And I didn't get to be generous enough after the Friday stream. You guys should all say thank you, SnugZ, and thank you, Seabear, and always say thank you, Catherine Rose. But there was a lot of people who were being very generous, one-upping each other, with my benefit, of course. And when I say my benefit, that's the project. I don't think I don't know if I ever said, but I don't actually keep whatever money comes in from this. Everybody in the team sees it and they know it just goes straight into the budget. So it started off as a kind of a joke that it was just going to be to pay for lunch, but you guys are way kind. But anyway, so I'm going to give out some extra stuff here. I'm going to give out some good prizes today. Thanks to the generosity on the stream. How about this? We'll start off next with a storefront greenhouse 4-story row home. I know it's a popular one. Bam. It's open. You guys enjoy. And again, SnugZ1, thank you, thank you, thank you. And SnugZ1, I talked about doing an artifact. We're kind of in the lockdown time where we're trying to put anything new in and only fix things. So I'm thinking I'm going to hold off on doing that today, but I will try to get that. I will do a stream. Maybe I'll do a morning stream tomorrow and make a few artifacts, make a few new artifacts. And then they won't be put in until after the release. We want to make sure no big fires come up. Travis, no, do not stay home and stream. I just meant that there was at least one time where you bailed me out and you streamed on a Tuesday. Do not stay home and stream. He's listening. That Travis guy is horrible. No, Travis, go to the team meeting tomorrow. Yeah, the worst. He may have the worst taste in beer, so that's debatable. SnugZ1 agrees. Let's see. Ooh, speaking of beer, You Austin people, the wife and I have gone to Jester Brewery twice now. That's like just a few miles from our house, and the wife loves it, which is awesome. But if you're an Austin person or coming to Austin, maybe when the SodaCon guys come around, or I forget what other things are coming up, but you guys should make a plan to go out and visit Jester King. It's a brewery out on a farm about 15 miles outside of downtown, down southwest. And they have goats, which they just sometimes just let out and let them go roam. You can go and like hug a goat if you want to, because that's what everybody wants to do. They're super friendly goats. I've never seen goats as friendly as that. But they have probably 20 different beers that are brewed there, and they do all local yeast, as in they don't actually use yeast. They just have like whatever yeast from the air is what they use, and they have their own strands and stuff. So a lot of them are sour beers, but they're so good. There's so many different good ones there. They're modest hops, and they grow their own hops too. And then they have like pizza on site, and it's just like a huge barn that seats like 1,000 people. It's crazy. It's awesome. We love it. Let's see. I got the next prize going. I was going to do some questions, I think was next up. Reading. Star is making sure that Lord Subtleton has not broken anything that might impact his dance parties. Do not mess with Star's dance parties and DJing. I'm trying to remember the exact connection, but I think the guy who did the voice for the video, which we now don't show you anymore, I don't think, for our intro video. Do not ask where something, where the path leads. I forget what it is. I think it's a Walt Whitman quote that I found somewhere. Because yes, I did write most of that as well. But anyways, but he was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in some form. I'm trying to remember the exact connection. But the guy who does like the voice of the Guardian or whatever. Yeah, you can still see it on YouTube. But anyways, he has some connection to Chainsaw Massacre. I'm not sure. I don't think he's like Leatherface or anything, but he's something. Draken Naruto, do you know if the fix is in for the crafting mastery on QA? I do not know. I meant to check on that because I had some people asking me, and I was like, I don't know. I didn't know it wasn't working. Can't raise the skill. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't know how to. What other stuff? Okay, got it. Yeah, that I can believe. Good information. Yeah, that's quite possible. We have to mark. There's some stuff we have to mark for how skills go up and what things you can do to raise them. It should just be anytime you use a crafting skill. If you have that set to train, then it goes up. Although it could be that we do it only if you re-roll, when you do the re-roll. Yeah, okay. And Beezus just confirmed, I think the hooks for skill use are not yet in code. We will get that in there. And again, thank you, Griffler, for the 133 bits and the That Which Lurks for the 100 bits. And Griffler, you should go to... you're a Texas guy. You can go to Jester King next time you're in town. Our new favorite. Let me answer some more questions here. You guys have a pile of them. Z of Silverdale, there was talk a few streams ago about Air and Death Shield needing changes because all seem to use, yeah. Yes, and Z, that sounds like a good solution. Yeah, and that's one that is true. The Death Shield, basically, Death Shield is OP. Air Shield is OP, is kind of the short version. When you get Air Shield up to really high levels where the math for it kind of falls apart. Because as always, like we set targets for like, here's how high we think people might get, and here's what feels reasonable at the level they're at now. And then you guys blow past that so fast, it's crazy. But anyway, so basically the problem with Shield of Air is the conversion rate of damage to focus gets really bad. So yeah, so we're going to be... I will try and get something in for that. I do like the idea Z just threw out of making it spec as a way to control the issue. Making it so like if you don't have specialization, then there's a nerf. But if you do have specialization, there's not a nerf. At least that's how I interpret it. And also, if you notice me touching my chin and touching my face a lot today, it's because I'm like 4 or 5 days past shaving when I should shave. I have showered. But anyway, so that's, if I touch my face, it's can't control it. It's just so itchy and feels horrible. I'll shave tonight. Let's see. That which lurks. Can the super late and in-game pet be a worm the size of the one in Boreas? Boreas Colossus. Is that like the big dragon? So we have, that's one of those things, we would love to give you those type things, and we could give you something more powerful than what's out there now, though what's you can already get out there is already pretty darn powerful. The challenge with those things starts being it's too big. You know, everywhere you go, it's like he's got like wings sticking out both walls and all over the place, and people are sitting there and they're like half inside of them. You know, those things are easy problems to solve when you're on a 2D grid and it's a 2D game. It's a lot tougher to solve when you're in a 3D world. So that's part of the main reason we try to avoid having really big stuff in there. Kind of push the limits with some of the ones we have right now, so that they are, you know, in the roof or in the wall sometimes. But anyways, that's kind of the challenge. We may be able to do something. There's some things I've thrown out ideas before because it is something I would love to be able to give you guys. We've probably talked about it and could probably have a whole stream just on this thing, that we have a small nav mesh grid and a large nav mesh grid. Well, my belief is the large nav mesh grid needs to die a horrible death and go away because it always just ends up causing more problems and broken nav mesh stuff. And we should use the small ones, and people should be placing things based intelligently. The designers should be placing things. Don't put giant stuff in places with little hallways is kind of the short version, rather than putting them in there and then counting on the nav mesh to let them get around, because then it just causes problems, like stuff can't chase you through the hallways. But anyways, so I had suggested at one point that we use that, and like they're only allowed to summon them if there's a large nav mesh grid there and they fit on it. But even that, because I'm trying to get rid of the large nav mesh grid altogether, even that's not that feasible. And it also starts falling apart. There's a lot of problems with the nav mesh stuff and dynamically placed houses and decos and stuff like that. But it is something I'm looking at. It could be something that maybe we do it, but we only allow it for outside zones or something like that, where you can only have these things in an outside scene. But yeah, I mean, we know you guys want that stuff, and I think it's cool too, and I mean, I'd love to have it. It's just we're trying not to make the game look any more broken than it already is. Let's see. Gnarch. Hey, thank you very much, Rinaldi. I see. Did you ask a question too? Will range get more than one AoE, like a toggle multi-shot? So range does not need, in a global sense, range does not need any love right now. As people were saying, that's ranged is already pretty OP, but it does have some places where it's weak, and that's one of the places it only has the one skill, and that's actually, I was looking at multi-shot today, and that's, as I mentioned earlier, I increased the cooldown time on the other two skills that are OP. Ranged is not as OP, but it's pretty powerful in terms of how much DPS you can get. But I actually didn't give it the same treatment, just because it is the only or the multi-target creature that archers have. But that is kind of the idea with the archers is if you think about an archer, you don't think about them shooting like a whole herd of things. So again, it kind of fits with the reality, which we do try to pay attention to whenever we can. And thank you very much, SnugZ1. We try to pay attention to it when it doesn't impact gameplay negatively. And that's one where it's I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not we need more multi-target archer things. There's some other things that I've been looking at that would require a modest change, wouldn't be huge, but making it so. I think I've shown you guys the formulas a number of times. We have kind of two types of fields in our data definition stuff. We have one that it's like, here's a number. You can just put in the number, but then the more common one is we have a formula field where you can actually put in a formula and have some math in there. So one of the things I've been looking at is making that so that right now the number of targets something can hit is a constant. It's whatever number it's in there. Fireball hits 8 people. Meteor shower hits 10 people. Aim shot hits 1 people, but making it so that can actually be something we can change with formulas. So we can have stuff like you can use like maybe a archery stance or something like that, where every shot you do has reduced damage but hits more than one target. Something of that sort, so you guys can actually tune your playstyle. Again, because the other guys have all these different stances. Having an archery stance, kind of a multi-shot archery stance, is one of the things that I thought would be cool. Invico, I'll let SnugZ1 answer this one. I just dropped my taming tree because taming bad. Have I made a mistake? I think there has to be some level of personal passion to be a tamer, to play a pet class. But I do think, and SnugZ1 will back me up a little bit on this, it's getting close to the point where it's pretty viable as a play style in terms of things. Now, it's not going to be, I know you do a lot of PvP envy, or at least would like to. So I don't know how viable it is for PvP. I think, again, no secret out there that our AI is dumb a lot of times. So when you have a creature, you're fighting a creature, and the creature is dumb, guess what? There's lots of stuff you can do. You can take advantage of them. You can move them around. Lots of different ways you can take advantage of that. When you have a pet, guess what? Your pet is dumb. Your dumb pet versus the dumb creature is a pretty good 1-to-1 match. But when you have a tamed pet and you put that against an intelligent player, then now it's kind of the same problem as the you versus a creature AI thing is. So again, PvP, I don't know that taming is really a viable option. It may be a good way to annoy somebody. But for PvE, I believe that taming is a viable playstyle. And yeah, the new tamed pet heal is in there now, and that actually increases the effectiveness of the tame heal. So it scales up with your pet, because that was one of those things, was for those who hadn't been paying attention, is, oh, Mojito, hi buddy. You could have pet with 3,000 hit points or something crazy like that, and then your tame heal is still hitting for 100. So now you can actually have a heal that will try and keep up with it. It'll scale up a little bit. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's significantly better. XX Killjoy 420XX question: is there any change coming to the mail system? Would be really nice if we could get a list of sent mail and contents. List and I are working on Wizard Smoke on this. This is one of the things I harass him about constantly. Because guess what? You guys see I have like 17 messages in my box. I would love to have more functionality, more stuff, just even like a right-click reply to the existing mail system. Just some of that simple stuff would be amazing. But yeah, to be honest, I think the last time I told Wizard Smoke, the answer or his reply was, and again, this is just an example of how good the team is about being open and direct and honest and with the other people on the team was, I told him that it's like, I think that we need to make these changes. He said, I really think that's probably an Atos problem, not a everybody problem. But we've been continuing to work on them. List and I both harassed him about it. Not an Atos problem, but I am the one who sees that stuff far more than probably anybody in the game. And yes, I would love to get some more functionality type stuff in there. Oh, here I am staring at a wall again. I'll stare off at a ship. That'll be better. Now it's better. Let's see. Ooh, Legion of Myth. That is a fabulous idea. Legion of Myth. Could we eventually have features to unlock in our town, like dragon flying way overhead, like we see in Vauban Pass? Holy crap. So that's one of the things, that's a great idea in terms of like the dragon at least. That's a great example of something, because that's one that we could do like right now. Just go and put in a deco that you have to place in your town. Like here's a little dragon statue deco that you place this in your town, and guess what? It actually adds a dragon that'll fly over your town. That would be absolutely freaking amazing, and I think I could do that like in a few hours. You are full of ideas, sir. That's really good. And I think you guys have seen that we have like some birds that flock over some things and bats and some other crap. Those should be going back in. Maybe they'll be turned back on this release or added back in numbers this release. Now that we're getting some of the performance problems with them solved. But yeah, having a dragon there, just having like a dragon statue you place in your town, and if you do that, you get a big dragon that circles over your town. Fabulous idea. So fabulous, I'm going to go post it right now. Let's see. Lancerman, is mannequins on QA yet? I'm not sure. I know as of this morning the state was the base mannequin existed and was working, but Beezus was blocked by a bug that one and only fixed that was preventing him from setting different stances or different poses for him. So let's try and get in some different poses for things. But yeah, it should, if it's not in the current release, I thought it was, then it'll be in the next one. I can probably get on QA and give some out, or if you guys see Travis online, you can probably ping him. And he can add some. Alright, it's 3:15. I'm going to go ahead and do another giveaway, and then I'll put up my final giveaway for the day here in just a minute. So you guys need to all raffle up. Raffle, 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 raffle. Raffle, raffle. List. I was just saying that if they see you online or see you on QA, to hit you up for mannequins, so they can try out mannequins on QA. They were saying they hadn't seen them on QA yet. I know there was that bug this morning where one version of the mannequin worked, but not all versions, like the different animation pose stuff that wasn't working. You guys are all raffled up, right? Right. There's a lot of you raffled, so I think you're probably good. Yeah, unless I wasn't saying you have to go like log on to QA right now and give them out. I was just saying if they see you online, to feel free to hit you or me up for free mannequins for testing. And good news is I think the mannequin that is working is the free version, like the crafted version. And then there's going to be some fancier versions. At least that was the last I heard on that stuff. I'm trying to keep my head down and not poke my nose in people's business too much here recently. Star's been doing a great job on that stuff. Not poking his nose into business, but telling people what to make on that stuff. All right, here we go. Giveaway. This is a good one. This is Storefront Greenhouse 4-story row lot. Row deed. It's that shop thing that everybody uses. Here we go. Cynthial. Cynthial. I'm going to guess your name is Cynthial. Am I right? I never win anything, says Cynthial. You can no longer say that. All right, buddy. You just got yourself a cool row deed lot thingy. This may be one right over here. I'll run over and see it. And let's see. So this will be the next prize I'm giving away will be the last one for the day. I'll make it extra again, extra nice, thanks to the generosity of SnugZ1 and Sea Bear during the Friday stream. Let's see what generous thing. Oh, and in case you're looking, I think actually the one I just gave away, I don't think that's the one I gave away. I think the one I just gave away is the glass glass front, but it's kind of like that. Let's see, what do I want to give away here? That's not what I want. Here's what I want. Featured. It's kind of a unique one. Looks like somebody put a house on top of a house. Yo, dog, I heard you liked your house so much, you put a house on top of it. Thank you very much, That Which Lurks, and also SnugZ1. Let's see. Got some disco stuff. The town. Oh, you gotta have a town lot. I could do that. You guys were, again, those guys were super, super generous, one-upping each other's records there. So we will do this. This is something that hasn't been in the game for a long time. This is not, I think it hasn't been that popular. It looks amazing on the outside. I think it wasn't super popular just because the inside has curved walls. Does not make for great decoing, as you might imagine. But it does look fabulous. It's one of those like good eye catchers in the town just because it is unique enough. So yes, I will do this. The most expensive item by far I've ever given out, because we had our biggest stream ever by far. Bam! Thank you very much, Dices. Thank ya. Let's see. This will be, holy shit, a tower home. Bam, there you go. Read it and weep. Let's see. And let's see. Again, that's a very rare home. How rare? So rare, there's not even one in here. Not a single one in my little hometown. And thank you very much, Lancel. Let's see. I guess I can answer a few more questions. Just kind of picking through here. Pick the ones I know. Sage-wise, I'm kind of working backwards from the end. See the new Destroyer skins for R68. Let me see. I'm not the most well-versed on that. Oh, I have some news before I go and do this. That is, I think people knew Star Wars is going to be out of town Friday after this one, and I was going to be out of town Friday after this one. Star didn't know I was going to be out of town Friday after this one because apparently I put some wrong date on the calendar. But actually I will be out of town. So Star was, we were going to do the live stream without him, with me being on it, and then he found out I wasn't going to be on it. So we rescheduled the 2-hour live stream that we do once a month to this Friday coming up. We normally don't do it the day after release because chaos. But we're going to do it this Friday just to make sure Star and I can both be on it. And then the Friday after that will be probably a List, Keith, somebody else stream. I may also jump on that stream too, just remotely, but not committing to it. Let me check. Destroyer. Let's see. I see a Corpion, Grizzly, Obsidian, Polar, Razorback. See, I don't know what the new visual ones are. So yeah, there's probably some new visual things out there, and I don't know what they are. Because I recognize all these guys. I don't think these guys are new. You guys talking about Hometown? I think I missed it. And yeah, Hometown should have all the houses, but I think we actually ran out of room in Hometown because we had too many houses. They pulled, I think they intentionally pulled some of the houses out if they were expired houses. So that one may not be in there because it was kind of expired or whatever, and this is just the high-priced vault version came back. Oh, Mojito. Oh, don't bite yourself. Mojito goes to the vet on Wednesday to get his checkup. Fortunately, he does not speak English, or else he would be freaking out because he does not like going to the vet. It's really embarrassing, too. He gets the whole... He's normally a pretty confident little happy dog, but he gets the little I'm so scared I'll pee on myself thing going on. I do not plan anything for immediately after the vet. No, and then he limps around for days because they give him shots, but he give him in his haunch, You know, he's pretty much all haunch. Big legs. Let's see. House of Mangar. I have not fixed the summons thing. So the last time I had a chance to look at it, I actually was casting the buffs on them, and I could do this crazy thing. That's not going to work over there. Hold on. I could do this crazy thing where I can go and check the stats. And so the next step I got, and again, I'm only poking at it here and there because you're one of the few people I know who's complained about it. But I can see that their stats are changing. So they are getting the effects of the buff. It's just they're not getting the effects of the stats. So there's the latest update. I'm going to continue poking at it, and hopefully I'll get it fixed before the release. We're in the bug fixing time, so that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Let's see. Fenris McGrath, have you guys reduced the drops from blue supply bundles since you fixed the glitch in Tartarus? The drops have been really bad from those bags. So nothing has changed on those. For those who don't know, the glitch was... So we have several different ways we can give out loot in game. So there's bundles. Internally we call them bundles. But that's where you can take like a collection of loot and put them together, like a bunch of stuff together and make a loot thing. And then you can put that like as you kill something and you get whatever is in this bundle, this group of objects. But The supply bundle stuff is actually basically a supply bundle, just happens to have the loot thing in it that we call a bundle, and when you open it, that's when it rolls the loot on those things. So the blue bundle was the one where we looked at how we wanted to add like cash shop stuff, not cash shop, premium currency shop stuff. This stuff in here, we added a bunch of these things to the loot. So you can get real, store stuff without even having to do the whole, I'm going to go earn gold and then buy crowns off of somebody else. This is actually just the item, you can get an item drop. So those were isolated to the blue supply bundles as one that is a supply bundle that most people could get of any significant level. And then we did the same thing we do with crowns with those, the crown drops, because the crown drops are throttled, so we know that is dropping something proportional to the number of players playing the game. So the supply bundles have something similar to that. So they were dropping a finite number of blue supply bundles every day. So we did not change that. The thing that I screwed up, in case you're wondering what the glitch was in Tartarus, was I was just looking for give me kind of a modest supply or bundle, in-game loot bundle. And I was like, I'll have to give out the same as the supply bundle here. That seems like a decent thing. Not realizing that the bundle that I'd put on it was actually the blue supply bundle that has all the cash shop stuff, premium currency shop stuff in it. And it was giving crazy loot, and players, guess what? Figured it out pretty quick. And went and... Liz, you're late for the stream if you're just arriving. But anyway, so players figured it out pretty quick, and I had to go fix that glitch. And that really was a glitch, just I'd forgotten that the blue supply bundle was the magic supply bundle. And by me adding the bundle that goes in the blue supply bundle, it wasn't counting towards the blue supply bundle cap. But did we change the loot in those things? Those are absolutely the same. That is, if you are seeing a reduction in loot, you can thank the random number gods, not us. Let's see. And if you're seeing a reduced drop in the blue supply bundles, then you can blame that probably on a few more people playing. Because I don't think that one scales with how many people play. Do. I'm reading. Let's see, it's an idea we've talked about, so I'll read it here. House of Mangar, Fizzle, says, hey Chris, would it be possible to clone a zone or two and set them as alt selections of the zone with higher difficulty? Basically, when I'm zoning to Crag Foothills, can I get a selection to make the zone normal, hard, elite? This would open up so many low-level zones that are cool, and that's actually kind of what I've been doing along the way, but I've just been doing one version of it, which is because we have some cool zones, but they're in places where low-level people don't go, and they were interesting looking, but content that you didn't care about. It's, walking through and slaughtering, one-hitting stuff. But yeah, that's a neat idea on actually making a clone of the scene and then doing it. We actually have what we call scenarios. This is something you guys may not know. Hold on, I'm getting a message here a message I don't want to read from Ken. Anyways, he's just updating some stuff. Back to what I was going to talk about in terms of your suggestion of cloning things. So we actually have a concept called scenarios. That if you can actually see this. right here, actually. So what the scenario does, it lets us take a scene and add some new scenario to it, basically a whole new version of it. So it changes out a bunch of these parts. So this is actually what we use for pots, as there's pots with different scenarios. This is, sometimes you see a scene that is a quest version and a non-quest version, and we'll just do that through scenarios. But anyway, we kind of already have something in place. I wouldn't have to fully clone them because that kind of gets big and ugly. But yeah, definitely having a way to do the scenarios. Oh, good. So since we bragged about doing all the box requests that had come in up to that point. Oh, and thank you very much, Lancel again and Irish Eyes. Thank you for the bits. Since we bragged about that, Ken is informing me that between 50 and 100 more requests have come in since we did the last one. Well, the good news is at some point we will be done with all of them and we can just stop thinking about them. But glad people actually still want their boxes. For those who don't know, we may never be done with them because we have probably a quarter of the ones that come in now, that have requested come in now. Like, we have no record of them, and we're trying to, again, there's a lot of detective work that goes on. As someone says they need, they didn't get their box, and we look and it's like, no, it looks like, your box was definitely sent. We have like a shipping number for it. It should have been sent. So that's kind of the stuff we're trying to deal with right now. The way those were shipped, they were shipped from a group in Europe, so they never came through us. So it's really hard for us to figure it out. So we're trying to make sure and figure them out, but also trying to, where possible, give people the benefit of the doubt. What is my dog doing? Is there something down there, bud? Liz, I wish you could help. Unless you can build some teleportation device and also a lie detector and truth meter. There you go, dog. That's what we really need. Hey, we shipped a lot of boxes to New Zealand. Got some friends down there. Sorry, now I'm replying to the people chiming in on the have a dragon deco you can place. Star immediately goes to, I'm sure all the people who already bought dragon statues wouldn't be annoyed at all. I told them I could make some recipes so people could convert the old ones if they wanted to. Oh, but I like the idea. Let's see. Yeah, in terms of having the high, medium, low, that's, you guys have seen, it's one of the quicker things for me to go in and take an old scene and fix it up. Put in new stuff, new encounters, new challenging stuff. So I mean, that does appeal to me. I haven't done that in a few releases, but maybe that's what I'll do for next release. This release, my time that I'd planned on spending on Tartarus got swallowed up by 4 server problems that I had to go deal with. Server searching, smoke testing, other servers. Server. Hopefully that's mostly cut up and we won't have another problem for another 5 years. Sadly, that is probably not the case. We are running the game on old servers, as many people know. and probably gonna keep failing over time. We'll see. Trying to make sure we still got a couple of like 8 or more backups, so we're good. Just annoying at this point. Do. Paladin Michael, this is a good question. I'm adding this to my list of just go do it myself thing. Empty lots. Are they coming? Empty row lots. That is it. Again, this is it's not a task assigned to me, but it feels like such an easy task that has just been missed because somebody else doesn't understand the importance to a lot of people on those things. So I'm gonna try and do that myself tomorrow morning. That feels like one I can do, and I can do in a short amount of time. So I will try and get that in for you guys for this release. And again, I don't know what the plan is for them. Star was talking about we have to, basically what it's going to be is it'll be a row lot or row deed, a house deed. But when you place it, you just get an empty lot. And I think he was planning on putting it in the store for a small amount. So you could replace whatever the default row thing is. But anyways, yeah, those will be good for, again, now that we have some stuff coming, so you can finally do chess sets and stuff like that. Mad Jock, I don't know. We were supposed to have, this was supposed to be the release that some work would start on the episode 2 map. I don't know what the actual finish date is. We'll probably have some news on that coming up soon. But yeah, you guys should be able to pick some of that stuff soon. At the very least, what we will have within the next few releases will be the Overland map, which once we have that, then we can put as many pots as we want to on it and get those guys going while we continue to add the other scenes. I don't have an exact date. Again, that's probably not something that I'm going to do, although secret. I made the initial overworld maps. Of course, when I made them, they sucked. But I did make the initial ones. I used some tech stuff and took something, so basically take the drawn map and turn that into a height map, turn it into a big terrain that was then used as what was like the starting point for it. But of course, a ton of work was done after that. But anyways, hold on. Someone just messaged me about a question. I don't see where that is. I do not see your question. I will get to it, though. Person who just wrote me saying that they sent me a question. Let's see. Iron Fist Warhammer. Do books that are bought from a vendor and reprinted on a press drop as random loot? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if we drop books at all as random loot using the sold to vendor loot system. Yeah, we may only drop gear. That would be cool and possibly pretty spammy if books showed up on that, because you could go make a bunch of come shop at Jack and Laz's shop and buy our scrolls, just as an example, and make a bunch of those books and sell them, and then it's like, hey, new player, here's your thing. It'd be like getting spam mail or something like that. You get something in the loot, and it's like, yay, I got some loot, and it's like, what is this? Rip it up and throw it in the trash. But I do not know. I kind of think that they already do that with bulletin board flyers. Oh, great. I've also gotten a flyer before. Oh, I'm telling you, that's like the equivalent of spam, in-game spam. Ooh, Z of Silverdale. Could pot owners get a way to mail all residences? I guess that'd be mailing people in your town. That's a neat idea. And I can definitely see that would be useful as a way to keep up with people. Trying to think what would go into that. So I think, I mean, that's one of the things we've talked about that we need to change with the current system, where you have to like take a piece of paper and write the piece of paper and then send that to somebody, which I think that was kind of like some old, like harkening back to, like, again, trying to be realistic. And it was a fairly simple implementation. But it's really annoying, as I think most of you know. I'm like, probably if I look now, I probably have like 500 pieces of blank paper or something. Yeah, there you go. That's what it results in, is people carrying around lots of that crap. It would be great if we could get rid of it. And the reason I mentioned that, the paper thing, is because that's the first thing I see that falls apart with that, is when you send people the letter, they actually get an item, and the item has the text, you know, whatever you wrote on it. If you send it to 100 people, like, do we make it so you have to, it uses 100 pieces of paper, or what do we do with that? So we're not creating new items, and maybe we don't care about the creating new items, but it would be pretty spammy. Probably doesn't matter as long as we charge you 5 gold per person or something, but there's a neat idea. Again, though, I would love to have a lot more email functionality. Definitely on my list. Has anyone named Will chimed in yet here? Hey, Will. This is my friend who's at the other game company. Waiting to see if he's jumping on my stream. We do not need junk mail. That which lurks. I thought there were some new tamables. I honestly am not 100% sure. Let me go check this a different way. I'll see what B is added here. Let's see. Mannequin setup, crafting mastery skills. For alchemy, blacksmithing, carpentry, tailoring. Let's see. Fixed issue with ornate longbow, not having a unique eternal pattern. Tavern, Lord British Helm, blah blah blah, silver serpent spear. Hope that wasn't something secret. Well, there's at least one new pet, because he fixed an issue with a new pet not following. Oh, that's for the Siamese cat. I don't see any new pets that he checked in. Let me check. Combat. So I'm not seeing anything. I would check. Let me check the release notes. Hold on. Because the other thing is sometimes we add stuff to previous release, but we just don't actually release it to you guys. Looking. Top tier tameable creatures. In release 66, we began adding top tier tameable creatures similar to the Obsidian Destroyer. We also made a pass in the visual of these creatures. In release 68, we completed adding them to the game in various scenes. So it looks like we've added them into more scenes, but we didn't add new creatures this release. Here we go. I had an answer. Let's see. All right, I'm going to answer. You guys raffle up, because we're about to give away the biggest prize I have ever given away on a stream ever in the entire history of me streaming. It is a, holy shit, it is a town tower home. So make sure you're raffled up. I'm going to answer a couple more questions. I'm going to do that giveaway, and then I'm going to wrap up my stream, because I have a little girl who's going to come home, and we are going to go practice swimming. We are going to a swim party next weekend. She still will not swim without floaties. She's very close, but still afraid to swim without floaties. So we're trying to work on the confidence, and then we're also going to go to Disney World, and we're going to go to water parks there. So we got to get that little girl swimming. So let's see. Again, I'm just picking some out from here. SnugZ1, when can we get the next level tameable pets? Probably with episode 2 will be the next round of pets. So before the end of the year, but not in the next couple of releases, is a decent answer. Let's see. Shift PC, please open up the API and let us make our own UI to fix all the issues with the current one, or issues we have with the current one. That is just something I've wanted so long, but it's going to take some hands-on from some other people on the team who just do not have time. It is one of my highest priorities. I think you guys will do a much better job than we do. I mean, the UI you see in game is, I would describe it as functional. And there's many times where it's not even that. But a lot of it was just the visuals, what people actually, think things should look like. Everybody has a different idea. And if we only have one UI, you guys are playing with our idea, whether you like it or not. So a lot of this is, again, super over-the-top simplistic. Much of it is feedback. It's basically the actual visuals for it. Functionality has kind of been more of a team and just evolving type thing. The visuals for it are very much a Richard to Scotty to in-game. And again, I think it's meant to be more of an old stylized look. Let's see. Yeah, again, I would love to get it in there. It's been high on my priority list for a long time. But again, maybe I can start doing some Lua. The way we plan on adding them is just through Lua hooks. Lua is a scripting language. For those who don't know, it's a very small scripting language. Is my armor broken? Okay, I'll fix it. Let's see. But yeah, I would love to get get the hooks in there for you guys and let you guys fix some stuff and make our game look better. Or not necessarily better, but definitely more to your taste. Oh, my armor's not broken, it's just damaged. It's getting close. Fixed. All right. Let's see. I think I'm ready to do the drawing. I'm pretty sure you guys are all in there. You guys are ready for see who the lucky winner is? All right. Hold on. Let me see. I think I'm going to show the thing there. 1 second. Is that it? Nope. And I'm actually behind on these. I think the ones from Thursday stream I haven't sent out yet. So, oh no, was it Thursday? Or was it the Friday stream? But anyways, I have I'm sure that's what a couple of the 17s are. So sorry if I have not gotten to you and you did this. But I'll also do this for this stream. I'll do this pretty much anytime people want to get some of those things in there. Again, it's kind of sneaky because you guys think you're getting something good, but when we give you house upgrades, stuff like that, then you guys spend more on deco stuff. So, or pot upgrades, get more people into your pot. 1 second. Trying to find the tool. You guys have until I get this up. Why is that not working? There we go. Figured since it's a 150 or 15,000 crown, whatever, I should probably go ahead and do the public thing there so you guys know I'm not cheating. Here's everybody on the list. You guys ready? Check to make sure your name's on there. Closing the giveaway. Drum roll, please. You ready? How much drama? Where does it cross over from drama into annoying? About 5 seconds ago? Okay, we'll go ahead and click. Salty cheese ball. Dear salty cheese ball. Who are you, salty cheese ball? I'm sure that is a reference to South Park. I'm sailing away. Oh, your salty cheese ball. Okay, I'm going to go send this item to you and then change your name. No, not really. So salty cheese ball. The good news is you just want an awesome house. The bad news is I think it's a town house, so I hope you have a town lot. If not, here's your chance to go upgrade for something. Bam. Salty cheese ball, you are today's big winner. Congratulations. Guys, again, thank you so much for all the support. As usual on a Tuesday, I will not be on tomorrow due to our team meeting. Hold on, let me kill chatbot. There we go. I will not be on due to our team meeting, but I will be back on Wednesday. I don't think I'm going to be late. Mojito has a vet appointment in the morning, but I don't think that's going to go late, so I should be on Wednesday morning. Hopefully I'll be on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, although I may get Travis or Keith or somebody to fill in for me on Thursday. We will see. But again, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to go find somebody to raid. Make sure and give them some follows. If my friend from Facebook is out there, Will. This is the important part here. This is the other thing you need to do to grow your audience is find people with popular streams and get them to raid you. That's a great way to get new follows. Let's see. Holy cow, Lancel, you're actually streaming. Lancel, we are rating you. There's no question here. Zero question. I don't think I've ever seen... Yeah, we need to raid you. You've got 22 followers. We need to fix that. Everybody, Lancel is streaming. If you haven't seen Lancel's town, it is amazing. Her decos on her house and stuff like that. She is always on the stream. She's always giving us a few bits here and there. Go give her some payback. And also thank you, That Which Lurks, Nargle Snoop, and That Which Lurks again. But we're going to go raid Lancel. Make sure and give her a follow so she can be an affiliate. And she is also apparently a very cute raccoon. Guys, thanks so much. Thanks for all the support. And I'll be back on Wednesday to answer some more questions and maybe make an artifact for you on live stream. See you guys. Let's go raid. Make sure and follow. Follow Lancel.